Dylan's goal all season has been to learn how to get his body into his swing. There are two parts to this. The first part is a good linear move, a good weight shift as the weight comes forward in the stride. And then the second, and maybe more important part, is having a really powerful hip rotation that powers the bat into the ball. One thing I've finally noticed in terms of Dylan's swing is that often he loses that powerful hip rotation by collapsing his front leg after the stride. We always talk about hitting off a firm front side, and that's because you need that front leg to become fairly rigid, to become the pivot point in the rotation. Here, Pujols and Dylan are both at toe touch, and look where their hips are. Now, from that point on, here's the next 10 frames with Pujols. As his hips start to open, the front leg becomes more and more straight, giving him something to pivot around, and he gets all that power coming straight into the ball. If we do the same thing with Dylan, so look where the front knee is now. It started to do a little mark here. As he comes forward into his swing, that front leg is starting to collapse. Everything's starting to collapse as he's coming down on the ball. And that's where a lot of the power is being lost. So that at contact, rather than having a firm front side, now when I see Dylan hit off a tee, he does a much better job of getting a good hip rotation off a firm front side. But in terms of seeing it in the swing, this is the best example I can get if you compare the Pujols on the left to Dylan on the right. What we're going to do with this is, well, for the first part, I think there's a walk-up drill we can do, but in terms of learning to let that front leg become the pivot point, the front hip become the pivot point to the rotation, a lot of that just has to be awareness on Dylan's part and focusing on it in all his swings.